Awesome. But as I said, it's been a while. I am going to get back into it pretty quickly for you guys, just so that way we can move forward. I can continue again with the content. Speaking of this week, if I just pull up the news right here, as I said, my mouse feels a little, I'm a little alienated, I feel is the right word for it with my mouse. So I'm still getting used to it. But we have beautiful week with Monday news, Tuesday news, and Thursday news. And we will have three price action reviews, right? So I'll have plenty of time to get back into it. But with that being said, if we look at the news more specifically, you'll see that just coming up tomorrow, we have Powell speaking. Whenever Powell's speaking, there's a lot of fuckery going on. That's just how it goes. You just go back test anytime he talks, you'll see that's what it does. So, more specifically for Monday, I'll be waiting for the PM session. And also, something I wanted to be doing now coming back, right? I have plenty of energy, had my rest, if you can call it that. But coming back from that, I want to be trading every day. I'm not going to be doing a price action review every day, but I do want to be trading every day. I have some more specific goals, which I'll share over with you guys later on in the future. More specifically about Top Step, I'm going to be taking a step back from Apex and reconcentrating on Top Steps now that they have higher capital allocation. I want to try and make the leaderboard there. And that does include me trading every day. So, just if you guys wanted to know where my mindset's at right now, I'm going to be concentrating on coding, continuing to provide great content to you guys. There's going to be a lot more happening. I don't know if you guys followed the TikTok, but a lot more clips coming up there, trying to build a small audience. And definitely, I will be concentrating on my trading, more specifically on Top Step, right? So, a lot of shit that I just said very quickly there, but I did want to give you guys an update now that I've been gone for a week. Only with the Rise model or mix of multiple plans. I will only be trading the Rise model. The only difference that I have through my experience is that sometimes I enter beforehand. So, for example, where people would say, "Oh, I turtle soup this." Well, okay, well, the turtle soup was my first entry, and then I added on the inverted fair value gap, and then my unicorn entry is my biggest scale in position. So if I would play a position, whereas my first position is 3 contracts, well, if it is in profit, I can risk that profit and consider it still as part of risk for my position, meaning I can add on 2 contracts into an inverted fair value gap. And if I'm still confident with the model and I have specific rules for scaling in, which I won't share due to it being part of my private mentorship, then I would place another position on the breaker. So I'm still trading the same moves with the same entry model. I am just adding more entries to it. And no, Justin, it does not mean the bot. I am gonna put that to the side for a while. My trading bot. I do love doing statistics. Those statistical scripts. There's a lot more coming. I have one that's gonna be coming over the next 2 weeks probably, but that's where my concentration will be for the following weeks, probably the following months. Maybe in the future, I will revisit the idea of the trading bot, especially if there's a lot of wants for it in the Discord. People would like some signals that are based off of a trading bot. That is something I could do. But for that, I would need to code it into Pine, and I am just learning to code into Pine right now. So, one thing at a time for sure, but my concentration for the next following weeks at least will be on getting some Top Step account passed and getting them to a leaderboard position is my goal. So, just wanted to give you guys an update before we head into the weekly outlook. But now that that's passed, we can head right to it. So, with news like that, the weekly profile is where there's a lot of play into it. So, we could see some form of reversal week with some news just like this. So, definitely will be on the lookout for that, but I'm definitely expecting Monday and Tuesday to be a classic expansion. So definitely some nice trades earlier during the week, and we will see where the rest of the week leads us depending on price more specifically. And I wanted to start on a weekly chart just because if you look at our weekly candles, right, the closures are very indicative of where we are to go next. And also, if you use settlement as close, you can use that. But as you can see, there is not much of a difference, and I prefer not using settlement as close. One thing we've seen is that we did expand very aggressively through it, right? This is 2 weeks ago. First week of July, we expanded higher, but now we are seeing not some slowness, but we are seeing it slow down, if we can say so, right? So after breaking this, we did retest our previous swing point. So I regard these as a PD array, right? Old swing highs, old swing lows. Regard them as a PD array, and we've formed a fair value gap. But when we compare these same candles on ES, you'll notice that ES just kept showing strength to the upside. So now, basically, what we want to know is which asset is going to be the strongest. And just from personal experience coming into the summer months, ES usually drives NASDAQ, and that's just true for most of the year, right? Even though NASDAQ will be more volatile, ES usually drives direction. So I will be looking for some long setups. Within this weekly fair value gap, we could see some sort of retracement. And this idea especially becomes clear once we head into our daily time frame, right? Because what did we do? Well, we retraced almost. Well, yeah, we actually did retrace to a discount and to our discount in efficiency. I thought we did not reach it. Oh, on ES, we did not. That's why I was confused. Let me just pull up this daily fair value gap. As I said, I'm a little bit alienated by my computer at the moment, so definitely going to be a little slower than per usual. By the way, whenever I see a volume imbalance next to a fair value gap, I combine them both to get the true consequent encroachment of these. I need to include them within daily fair value gaps and discount, right? Anytime we're talking about price, we're always talking about internal to external. And I won't go in depth right now and give you guys a class here, but basically NASDAQ did retrace where it needed to, while ES did not. But since ES is so much stronger, this is something that was to be expected. And if we look more specifically at the most recent candle, we have some very aggressive SMT on the highs, right? This is something that we can easily see if we go down to an hourly chart. And if you look over to the left, you'll see that ES took out barely, but did take out just before dropping aggressively the highs from the previous week, right? The previous day, Thursday highs. So we have very aggressive SMT on the highs, but yes, there is also some remaining SMT on the lows. So what we know is that ES is extremely strong to the upside, while NASDAQ is starting to turn weaker, right? We've seen a lot of displacement, but I'm looking at an hourly chart. On a daily chart, this could just be a retracement candle, right? As we've seen multiple times during this upwards move, we had a lot of retracement lower, which is to be anticipated. This is where your monthly power of 3 will come in, and how we interact more specifically with the monthly open, which is just before this upwards run. I have the weekly open. Let me just put that as monthly open. Thought I had a template for that, but I guess now I do. And we'll just put that the colors I usually have it and run that as monthly open. There we go. So based on how we interact with this specific monthly open level is how I'm going to be engaging with price. So basically, if we go up, I'm going to expect it to keep going up. Same thing, right? If it's bullish, I am bullish until proven otherwise. So I'm going to look for long setups. So open of the week, right? I'm going to be looking for a Monday, probably early manipulation lower. And as I said, I'm going to be waiting for the PM session on Monday. So price will be very clear, probably a lunch trade. More specifically, we'll be looking at a range from a consolidation from the morning. If we don't have consolidation in the morning, we either have a high or a low of the day candidate that has been put up, which can tell you direction for the other move, right? That's how I'm going to be interacting with Monday specifically. But for the remainder of the week, I'm going to look at my weekly power of 3. So if Monday makes a clean low, I'm going to expect that low to be respected at least all the way up to CE of this new order block we seem to be creating. So my first objective to the upside will be this, followed, of course, by buy-side liquidity, right? Are we going to invalidate this SMT or not? The one we just looked at in the hourly. If we respect this SMT, we will see some sort of retracement higher, continued by an expansion lower, and this monthly open will be my target. So I'm going to anticipate that all of these fair value gaps down here in this order block will all be disrespected, because if we go back down here, it is to go through the monthly open and no other reason. So basically, lower prices, we have a clear objective, looking for monthly open, possibly expanding lower, and I'm going to disregard any SMT we make during that move because ES is way stronger. Now, if we have an early week expansion higher, possibly forming some sort of SMT here as well, whereas ES would go higher, taking out previous week's high, while NASDAQ would go lower, well, that is also a possibility. But anytime you go on your weekly chart and you see this specific candle form, right? Because yes, we are trading candlestick patterns. No matter how much us ICT traders like to say, this is what we are. But I'm not seeing the candle and saying it's because it's that candle. No, I understand that the week opened here. We traded lower before expanding other way around. We expanded higher before expanding all the way back lower and retracing to close. I understand that. And I understand that when this pattern forms, looking at my daily chart, it means an aggressive retracement lower that could be continued into the next week to retrace into some sort of higher time frame level, which, to be honest, we have formed a shit ton of them, right? This monthly order block could be an objective. In the weekly, we just formed a fair value gap. We could see us retrace into that fair value gap. So I'm still a little rusty. As you guys can tell, there are a lot of possibilities, and right now my job is to learn to filter them, if I can say so. But the main things I'm going to be looking for as some higher objectives is going to be NASDAQ heading to this order block because it is extremely weak compared to ES, whereas ES could look for previous week's high. And if we start going lower, I'm going to expect our monthly open and the flip of that monthly open. What I mean by a flip is a straight expansion through it on both assets. So even on ES, which, as I said, might be slower because of how strong it is currently to the upside. But these are going to be my objectives for this week. And as I explained just a second ago with how I'm going to interact with Monday, it will frame my direction for the whole week. Do we have any questions on that specific note? I do understand it was a bit quicker. I'm trying to get back into the charts, right? After a week out of the charts, it's a little weird to come back, but I was very eager to do so. So did a lot of back testing in the past 2 days. Definitely going to be back into it. I might have a little bit of a rusty start, but hopefully it will not give me a crutch for too long. I'm not seeing anyone talk in chat, so I'm guessing there are no questions. Everything was pretty clear. Awesome. All right. Well, on that note, guys, I am going to leave you for tonight. As I said, there will be 3 price action reviews. We'll be seeing each other tomorrow night. We'll be seeing each other also for Tuesday night and Thursday night with all the news we have. I'll be posting these under events in a second. And well, you guys have a great week trading. We'll speak more very soon. Have a great night, guys.